I turned 20 years old today, and I think the main point of birthdays is the majority of your time should be spent reflecting and looking back on how you lived your life up to this point and deciding and determining if you're satisfied with how you've been living your life and if you're satisfied with who you are currently. Me personally, I'm not. And I look back on things like regrets. What have I accomplished? What have I done? Have I inspired people? Have I been inspired by people? Who's around me? Am I keeping a good circle? Am I working as hard as I can toward the things that I want? All these things, I think, is the point of a birthday. You should be doing these things constantly anyway. But I think if it's not a priority to you, then at least on your birthday, when you get a year older, because let's be honest, you're closer to death now. When you're born, you're guaranteed death. You're a year closer to death. So I think it's important as human beings and as individuals that we look within and we try and see where can we improve, where do we want to be. Like for example, I'm 20. I look back at my 19th year of life and I'm like, I didn't live that the way I wanted to live that. I wasted a lot of time. I ran away. I distracted myself from a lot of things, a lot of emotions, things that I've been putting off, things that I don't want to deal with, or things that I didn't want to deal with. But it comes a point where you hit a wall and you can't get past that wall. You can't smash through that wall unless you deal with the things that are bothering you, because you hit that wall and the things you've been running from, you collide. And you can either come out a stronger person or you can either come out weaker. Because I think all the pain that you go through up to this point, rather you're 20, 21, 22, 30, 40, 50, however old you are, all the pain that you endured up to this point, God has placed there intentionally. Everything that's happened to you that's been bad, negative, terrific, horrible, traumatizing, everything that's happened to you up to this point has been placed there by God for a reason. It's to shape you into a better person. It's to shape you into a person that He knows you can be, and deep down you know you can be. So you can either let that pain break you or you can let it destroy you. The pain that forces you to grow is not the pain that kills you. The pain that kills you is knowing you could have been more, knowing that you could have done something and you didn't do it. Staying in that job, staying in that relationship that you really want to get out of, but you're too afraid, and you're too afraid of the pain of having to deliver that news to that person. Staying in the same environment, not watching the same content, doing the same things constantly over and over and over again. And then before you know it, you're 40, 50 years old, and then you look back and then you say to yourself, where did all the time go? So this is just me speaking from the heart, nothing written down, anything. This is just me speaking, and I think it's important. I think it's genuinely important, especially now, being in my 20s. It's important that I dedicate myself to trying to become a better person. I can sacrifice these next 3, 4, 5, 6 years getting to where I want to go, and then everything I wanted to do for those past like 5, 6 years, I can now do it exceptionally well, and I can now do it without feeling guilty because I've already accomplished, or I'm at where I said I wanted to be at. You know, I think it's important to build a mindset that elevates you. You know, not everything you see on the internet you have to listen to. Like, if somebody's watching this, you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to Andrew Tate. You don't have to listen to Tristan. You don't have to listen to Sneeko. You don't have to listen to anybody or any of these motivational people. You don't have to listen to nothing. This is all advice, and all advice are wisdom and words that you can choose to take it or not. If it does not apply to you, it's a waste of your time. Not necessarily. If it doesn't apply to you, it might be useful to still listen to, but you don't have to listen to it. You understand? You don't have to listen to it. decide whether or not you're gonna do it or not. You decide whether or not you start or not. You decide whether or not you just sit there and think about it and never take any action on it. That's up to you and only you. One thing I've learned throughout my life so far is like nobody's gonna help you. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. I mean, yeah, you got family, you got, people are there, but nobody's gonna force you to go in the direction that you know you can go in. No one's gonna grab you by your ear and pull you to your goal. No one's gonna say, hey, come on, get up, you gotta go to the gym. You wanna get stronger. Nobody's gonna put the food in front of you that you need to eat to get bigger. Nobody's gonna piggyback you to the gym. These are all things you do. These are all things that you make happen. These are all things that you are in control of. So, with me being 20, and I'm not perfect, these are things that I've learned. I'm talking to myself. I'm a wreck, being honest. But there's always something to work on, and that's the beauty in life. You can always get better in anything. Anything. Rather it be yourself, rather it be something you're doing, your career, your relationship, the way you speak, the way you walk, how much money you have. All that stuff can be worked on. All that stuff can be improved. And it can be an infinite amount of times it can be improved. There is no limit. So if you're 20 and you're watching this decade is so important. And I'm saying this as a 20-year-old, not because I'm smarter than you, not because I'm better than you, because I'm just like you. We're no different. Our mindsets might be a little different, but that's it. That's the only thing about us that are different. We're not different from each other. So your 20s are very important. They set up how you live your life. And a lot of people maybe overemphasize that, but it is important that you live with intention. It is important that from this point forward, no matter what age you are, but especially at this point, you're very intentional with how you spend your time. You're very intentional with who you give your time to. You're very intentional of the energy you give and that you receive. You're very intentional with what you do. Because everything matters. The bad stuff, the good stuff, it all compounds over time. So, it all matters. And you have to take complete accountability and complete responsibility for where you are now and where you're gonna be and where you wanna end up. Because like I said, nobody's gonna help you. It's just you. You have to start it alone. You don't have to do it alone forever, but you have to start it alone. No one's gonna hold your hand. No one's gonna help you out. You have to start it alone. You have to do it alone. You have to cheer yourself on. You have to force yourself to do it every day. You have to force yourself to continue to do it, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel like shit, even when you want to quit. You have to force yourself to do it every single day, day in and day out, and you try your best not to miss a day. Because missing one day may not kill you, may not kill your gains, it may not completely set you back to square one, but it's gonna kill your momentum. And momentum is very important to getting where you want to go. Momentum and consistency, they play hand in hand. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum creates success. So, and again, I'm no smarter than you. I'm just a regular kid. I haven't done what I wanted to do yet. I'm gonna start. This is me starting. This is me starting. So with that being said, it's just words of wisdom that you can take from me or not. You can either let your pride get in the way and be like, I'm not gonna listen to this guy. He's only 20. What does he know? Or you can listen because wisdom doesn't have an age. Wisdom doesn't have an age limit. You could be 80, you could be 9. If wisdom is there, wisdom is there. So it's up to you whether or not you want to listen. So yeah, you're 20 years old. You don't have all the time in the world. Time's gonna run out. You're gonna be 40 before you know it. You're gonna be 50 before you know it. What do you want to have when you're 40, 50 years old? What do you want to have? A nice house, a lot of money, a good wife, kids, big family, or the ability to do whatever you want. Your goals aren't the goal on the internet. Your goals are personal that you decide and you create. So whatever your goal is, whether it's to be rich, whether it's to have $1 million or $10 million or $20 million, or maybe just to have enough. just to have enough. Maybe money isn't your main concern. Maybe you're more focused on your body. Maybe you're more focused on your mental health. Maybe you're more focused on your relationships. Whatever it is, go for it. Work toward it every day. Because you're 20. You don't have time to slack around. You don't have time. You don't have time to go to parties. You don't have time to talk to girls, argue with girls. You don't have time to put energy in places where it's not going to benefit you long term. Stop buying things that aren't going to help you long term. Stop doing things that are going to benefit you long term. And again, I'm talking to myself. I've done this shit plenty of times. So I'm telling you from experience. I've done the chasing. I've done the wasting money on pornography. I've done that. I've done the addiction. I've done all that. I don't want you to fall back into that or fall into it at all. Temptation is gonna knock at your door, and you have to let God. You have to believe. You have to have faith in something. I'm not the biggest believer. I just started. I prayed for the first time in like 10 years yesterday, and I prayed this morning. I don't pray, but I'm trying to build a relationship with God because I think it's important to believe in something. I think it's crazy to go through your whole life not believing in anything, any higher power, whether it be the universe, Allah, God, Islam, whatever you want to believe in, you believe in. Tarot cards, whatever. It's whatever you want to believe in. But believing in nothing is crazy to me. Point is, life is too short to not do what you want to do. So go do it. Whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're 40. The people that don't get rich and the people that don't accomplish their goals are the people that don't think they can do it. So it's up to you.